Hello, how are you? Okay, hello everyone. We're just going to give it a few more minutes for the host to get here.
Hi, good afternoon, everyone. Can anyone hear me?
Yes, we can. We still have a few more people coming in, so we're going to probably start about in 1 minute, 3:05.
Okay, no problem.
Thank you so much for being here, Brent.
Thanks for having me back again. Glad to be here.
Yes.
Can you guys see my screen here?
Yes, we can.
Okay, perfect.
Okay, well, it's 3:05. Let me just introduce myself. My name is Quandra Spates, and I'm the Senior Project Manager here at Sunshine Enterprises. Today we have Paychex. This is their last presentation for Financial Fitness September. We really appreciate you all coming out to speak with our clients. You've provided a lot of good information. And regardless what our clients decide to do, they know that they at least have a provider that they can get in contact once they're in the position where they're going to be hiring people, or if they in fact want to put themselves on payroll, they know they have a good provider like Paychex that they can reach out to. So once again, thank you, and I will go ahead and let you get started.
Awesome. Thanks so much for having me here today, guys. Definitely looking forward to kind of talking about, some things that Paycheck really does well, and some ways that we're able to kind of help small businesses here. So with that being said, how I've really kicked off, prior meetings here in the past is I know kind of, what I'd like to do is really kind of get an understanding of your guys' businesses, just so I can kind of tailor the conversation in the best way possible here. So would like to kind of just go around, hear a little bit about everyone's business, what you're looking to accomplish and what you'd like to get out of this meeting. And if you have any questions that maybe I can answer throughout the meeting here. So with that being said, Antoine, I'll go ahead and start with you. If you wouldn't mind just sharing a little bit about your business here, just so I can kind of understand, kind of where the group's at here, just so I can tailor the conversation as best I can.
Sure. Do you hear me good now?
Yes, we can hear you.
Yep, I can hear you.
Okay, cool. Well, my company is Unlimited Property Buyers, LLC. And what we do is we revitalize the neighborhoods by fixing up abandoned homes, renovating them, and setting them back to the market, and creating home ownership, renters, and all that sorts. So we definitely look
Awesome.
for payroll because we're hiring all the time. When we get projects and stuff like that, we
Gotcha.
create more jobs. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Antoine, do you have any employees as of right now?
Yes, I do.
How many employees do you currently have?
I have probably like 3 or 4.
3 or 4, okay. And then are they W-2 employees that currently have payroll, or are they independent contractors?
Independent contractors.
Gotcha. Okay. Perfect. Awesome. Great to have you. I appreciate you sharing that here with me. Let's jump to Fahid. Fahid, would you mind sharing a little bit about your business?
Yeah, hello, can you hear me?
Yep, I can hear you perfect.
Okay. My business is a automotive repair shop. We do just repairs, maintenance on regular cars and smaller diesel trucks.
Okay.
Employees, I want to say right now we're at 1 writer and 3 technicians, and they are indeed W-2 employees.
Gotcha. Okay. And then Fahid, how do you currently do payroll for everyone?
Right now we use QuickBooks.
Gotcha. Okay. Awesome. All right. I appreciate you sharing here. How about Martine? Martine, can you share a little bit about your business here?
Yes, my husband and I, we recently started a dump truck company. So in June, we purchased a dump truck, and my husband is the only one right now as he's the driver for the dump truck.
Gotcha. Awesome. Sounds good. All right. I appreciate you sharing. Jacqueline, we'll jump to you next here. Jacqueline, I think you might be on mute. I can hear you. Yeah, I can see you talking, but I can't hear you.
As I said, I'm driving. I have an accessory.
No problem.
To sell jewelry and other accessories for men, women, and children. And really, I'm the only one, owner operator. So there has not been any payroll to date.
Gotcha. Okay. Awesome. Well, I appreciate you guys sharing that with me. It definitely gives me kind of an idea of how to really kind of, maneuver the conversation and kind of tailor it to the best way possible here for you guys. So with that being said, what I'm going to do is I'm kind of going to introduce myself, let you guys know a little bit about what I do, tell you a little bit about Paychex, and then kind of tell you exactly how kind of payroll comes into the conversation for a lot of business owners that we work with here. So with that being said, my name is Brett Bolivar. I have been with Paychex here for about 3 years here now. Primarily where I work all the way from Joliet up to Naperville, Bolingbrook, Romeoville, pretty much all over the southwestern suburbs over here. And primarily what I do is I'm in the small to medium-sized business segmentation. So I work with pretty much every business from 1 employee all the way up to businesses that have 250 employees. So that's kind of really where our segmentation is. Now, our sweet spot of exactly where we really shine and where the majority of our market share is with Paychex is really in the 4 to 5, I would say 6 employee range. And that's really kind of the majority of businesses that we work with here. So with that being said, a little bit about Paychex. And I won't get too in depth with, a lot of these slides here because a lot of it's, kind of just a little bit of fluff, to be honest. But really kind of what we talk about here is in what Paychex does is we're a full streamlined solution for pretty much all of your business needs for managing your employees. So all the way from recruiting, applicant tracking, trying to find good people, hiring and onboarding them and making that process as efficient as possible, making sure that you're having all documentation that you legally need to obtain as a business owner. HR information systems, making sure that you're managing all of that, that information that is sensitive information as well. Health insurance, if you get to the point where, you're potentially looking to offer your benefits, your employees benefits, health insurance management, benefits administration, all the way through time and attendance, making sure that, you're tracking time with your employees, integrating that with payroll, obviously payroll administration, and then all the way down to separation and retirement planning as well. So as far as the entire employee life cycle, we really help we like to say from hire to retire. So with that being said, that's kind of really where Paychex shines. I would say there's really 3 areas that we focus most on over at Paychex, and that would essentially be people, productivity, and money. So when it comes to people, making sure you have good people in place, making sure you're able to staff appropriately, making sure you have strategic ways to go about, diving into the talent pool. Productivity, making sure that all systems, all processes are all working together very seamlessly in integration. And then also money. There's so many different ways that we're able to save you money outside of, our invoicing costs through tax credits, through hiring and recruiting, through attrition, making sure that you're not having turnover within the business, those types of things. So that's kind of like a high level about Paychex as of right now. Does anyone have any questions just yet?
No, we're good.
Okay, awesome. So now I'll kind of, because I know there's a couple relatively new businesses here who haven't had W-2 employees as of just yet. So I'll kind of talk to you guys a little bit about at what point in time a business that would be an LLC or a sole proprietor or a partnership would essentially be looking into transitioning the business and incorporating to an S Corp, and when it's beneficial to essentially draw a payroll as a salary, and how that's beneficial from the tax standpoint. And essentially, everyone has kind of a different opinion on how this works, but the majority of accountants that I work with probably, I would say about 100 accountants throughout the area here. And the majority of accountants really say that that particular period in time, when it's the best time to transition the business from a sole prop into an S Corp, is essentially once the business is profiting roughly around $40,000. People will tell you sometimes a little bit lower. The majority of accounts will say right around $40,000 to $45,000, and it really kind of just depends on the accountant. But I'll tell you exactly how this works here. So now, when you're a sole proprietor, a partnership, or an LLC, essentially all the revenue that's coming into the business, that's all getting taxed on a personal and business level. So you're paying essentially self-employment tax on that entire revenue on the business. Once you transition the business into an S Corp, once you have right around $40,000 in profit that you anticipate for a year, what happens then is the accountants will essentially tell you, hey, now because you're an employee of the business, it's now beneficial for you to draw a salary on payroll as a W-2 employee of the business. So you'd essentially transition into an owner-operator of the business. What happens then is, let's say you have $40,000 in income. What you can do is you can take out $20,000, let's say half of that you can then take out as a salary distribution. And what you can then do, and that's really just to kind of cover basic income, mortgage, utilities, basic cost of living. But then what you can do with the other portion of that is, as you get closer towards the end of the year here, basically what the accountant's going to say is, hey, we're looking at potentially another $20,000 in profit that you're going to have to pay tax on one way or another. So there's a couple different strategies that we can essentially do with it. One is we can pay you that as a distribution that won't be subject to that same self-employment tax that the regular salary is. But now what you can also do is you can also defer that money into a retirement plan, such as a 401k, that will also reduce that taxable liability. So essentially what happens on the accountant side of things is their main objective is to get your taxable liability as low as possible. So what they're trying to do is make sure at the end of the year, if you have any leftover taxable liability, what you're doing is you're either one, paying the IRS, or two, you're paying yourself, or you're deferring over into a retirement plan. So one of those two things. So really kind of where we come into play here is once you're essentially, you know, at that tipping point where an accountant's going to say, hey, you're looking at about $40,000 in profit, and the way the self-employment tax works out versus the distribution, it would be beneficial for you to incorporate the business and draw a salary on payroll. Here's how much I'm going to advise you to draw it on salary, and then here's how much we're going to look at it potentially taking a distribution that won't be subject to that self-employment tax throughout the rest of the year. That's kind of where the tax planning comes into place. So once that happens, now let's say, you know, your accountant says, hey, you need to get set up on a payroll service, whatever it may be. Now here's where kind of the complicated part comes in, and here's where we really take over. Now, once you have W-2 employees, you're now required to be able to calculate, deposit, and do returns for all of the employees. So you have Social Security, Medicare, federal income tax, state income tax, and then also state unemployment insurance. You're essentially responsible for calculating your portion and the employee's portion of all those taxes. You're ultimately the one that's responsible for collecting 100% of those and making those deposits on a biweekly or a monthly basis. And then every quarter, you also have to do a reconciliation return, which is called a 941, every single quarter to make sure that all those taxes that you had paid within that quarter are 100% taken care of and are 100% accurate. Really where Paychex takes over from a payroll standpoint of things is we take 100% of that off of your plate. We take care of all the tax deposits, all the calculations. We take care of all the direct deposit, all of the paper checks, all of the W-2s, all of the year-end reporting that you would need as well. So from a payroll standpoint, that's really where Paychex kind of shines. That's really our bread and butter of everything that we do here. So that's kind of like the tree, the trunk of the tree that branches off into, you know, now growing the business, now recruiting, now hiring, onboarding, now making sure you're tracking all the employees' information, any certifications, any credentials that they need to be able to operate, adding benefits, kind of getting a strategic benefits package in place here, maybe trying to, you know, make sure that you're hiring the best people. Every business owner that we work with here, and the same thing with Paychex, is we're only as good as our worst employee. So at the end of the day, what we're trying to do is make sure that you have all the best people in place to help you really grow the business. So with that being said, that's kind of payroll in a nutshell and kind of the accounting aspect of it. Does anyone have any questions as of so far?
No, I think it's all clear for me.
Jackie has a question.
Awesome. Go ahead, Jackie.
Employees, hi, that you process.
Sure.
Are they getting that information electronic, and what do I as the employer get in terms of reporting? Is it all electronic or there's some paper?
So it's really up to you. So we have an online platform that we use to process all of our payroll. So you can actually process payroll one of three ways. We have, you can process your own through the online platform. We also have a mobile application that you can do it from your phone, or you actually, every one of our clients has a dedicated payroll specialist that you can actually reach out to the payroll specialist, have a scheduled time each week, every 2 weeks, whatever it may be, that you actually process payroll. Then from when you process payroll, you'll have immediate reports that you have available to either have printed out, or we can send them to you, whatever you need. Or if you want it done all electronically and you want to keep it in that online platform, it's all available to you at real time. It's all cloud-based, so you can access it from your computer or your phone, regardless of where you're at. Does that answer your question?
Yeah, because sometimes employees come back and they said, oh, I need my check stub for a bank or a loan or something.
Of course. Yeah, so the nice thing with our system as well is all of the employees actually have an employee access account as well. So they can actually download in a mobile application that will have an employee access side, whereas you obviously would have the the admin access side. So they can actually go in, they can view their check stubs, they can view their W-2s all from their phone. So they wouldn't have to, you know, kind of chase you down and bug you and say, hey, I need a, you know, I lost my pay stub. Can you please print me out another one? They have access to all of that through the online mobile application as well.
Very good. Thank you.
Yeah, of course, of course.
So just
kind
to
of
clarify,
piggybacking
I'm sorry to interrupt.
Yeah,
but
sure, go ahead.
You're saying the employee can access their own pay stubs?
Yes, absolutely. So essentially what happens is when I'm onboarding new clients, I'm getting all of the employees' email addresses in conjunction with a bunch of other information. And then what I'm doing from there is once we process the first payroll, because I had input all those email addresses into the system, they'll automatically get a notification that will then link your business and their pay stubs and everything to that online account. So then all they have to do is set it up, and then they can actually, from the day that you actually process the payroll, so let's say tomorrow, let's say the majority of business owners, their check dates are on a Friday. We typically require that everybody processes payroll 48 hours in advance. So on Wednesday, let's say, you know, you were to process payroll, they'll actually, from the second you process that payroll, they can actually see their check stub, exactly what their net pay should be Wednesday night before they actually get it Friday morning.
Gotcha. And then if they need to reprint it, like past pay stubs, they can just log on and do it themselves.
They can log on and do it all themselves. Exactly. Right. So everything that they would need to see from an employee side is basically available for them. So W-2s, the nice thing is, you know, obviously W-2s take probably, I would say, about 2 weeks or so. They usually come around mid-January once they actually get processed, but there's always, you know, those couple of employees who want to get their, you know, their tax refund, you know, January 1st. So they can actually print off their W-2s as well, January 1st, to be able to go and get their taxes done as soon as possible. Be the first person in line at the accountant's office to get that taken care of.
Wow. Okay. All right, cool.
Mm-hmm. Any other questions as of just yet here? All right, I'll kind of move forward here a little bit. So kind of talking about you know, the technology and kind of what we're kind of getting into here. Like I had mentioned, everything's a single platform, single sign-on, all cloud-based. So like I had mentioned, employee records, client records, all of those things are all available through the online application as well as the mobile app. The nice thing about this too is single sign-on platform. Let's say you guys have, you know, several different businesses that you end up opening down the road. It's all through the one sign-on. You won't have to sign on for several different businesses. If you end up adding a retirement plan for yourself, for your employees later on down the road, it's all done through the same application with one single sign-on. So it's very nice. You know, one of the biggest things that we hear from our clients is some of the pain points that they have are essentially, I have to go to 5, 6 different vendors to be able to get everything that I would get at Paychex, whether it's insurance, 401k, retirement planning, workers' comp, all those types of things. They can do it all under one roof and all be managed through that one single platform here. So that's kind of really how we separate ourselves with our technology here. The other nice thing too is, like I had mentioned, payroll specialist 8 to 5. You have a dedicated payroll specialist. You have direct access to their direct phone number as well as their email address. No other provider for small business segmentation has this feature. Everyone else is all outsourced, or it's a 1-800 number, which a lot of times, you know, coming up to the end of a quarter, coming up to the end of the year here, wait times can be, you know, anywhere from 2.5 hours from what I've seen. There's been lots of times where I've helped clients transition from other platforms over to Paychex. And sometimes rather than, you know, have them go through, you know, difficult conversations and trying to get reports and things like that to get everything over, I've called myself to be able to get all the information I need. And I felt the pain of myself of having to sit on that hold for that customer service. So not only payroll specialists, you have a dedicated service center where you can actually call after hours to process payroll. So it won't be your dedicated payroll specialist, but it will be a payroll specialist that's available 24/7 if you need any questions after hours. And then there's also 24/7 self-service as well. So whether it's, you know, through phone, chat, whatever it may be, we have your back, you know, pretty much 365 days of the year. One of the nice things about Paychex too is we are the #1 provider for small to medium-sized business. Like I had mentioned, in the entire country, nobody has more clients than us in that segmentation. That's really where we shine. We have about 750,000 business clients that we service. We have over 16,000 employees at Paychex. 100 different locations throughout the United States. I'm actually out of a office over in Warrenville. So if you guys were, ever local, we have about 5 offices here, Warrenville, Tinley Park, we have a couple in Chicago, and then we have one in Northfield. So if you guys were ever to need to, go pick up an expedited check or something along the lines of that, or for whatever reason, we have those locations as well. We also have lots of different, HR professionals and accountants that are on staff that are constantly monitoring the changing laws, just making sure that we're staying up to date with all the rules and regulations and things that are kind of changing here, especially with today's landscape. One of the things that we've been seeing too, kind of with the given landscape here and how we've been able to help support our clients, workplace safety and COVID-19 have been one of the biggest subjects that we have here with a lot of our clients. Returning to work, making sure that they're staying in compliance with a lot of Department of Labor policies, CDC guidelines, things like that. The CARES Act and the Family First Coronavirus Relief Act, we've been giving a lot of our clients a lot of support as far as that's concerned. I would say probably during these times, 9 out of 10 business owners that I've worked with have all had some type of PPP loan. And we basically have a streamlined entire process for the application process that we're managing all the wages behind the scene, making sure that every dollar that you had essentially gotten through that PPP loan, we're tracking and managing to make sure you're getting all of that forgiven, and then making that application process for the loan forgiveness, making that as streamlined as possible as well. And then the Paychex retirement, one cool thing too here that I'll kind of touch on here, my partner, Brittany Lawler, she was actually supposed to be on, but she wasn't able to make it. But I work very closely with her, and she's the retirement specialist here. And like I had kind of mentioned earlier here, one of the biggest things that your accountant's really trying to do is trying to get that taxable liability down to 0 at the end of every year. And one way you're able to defer up to about $20,000 of that taxable liability is to be able to set up a retirement plan. And as of recently, the IRS has actually done a survey of the average person who's at the age of 65 who's ready for retirement, and essentially what they have in their retirement plans. And the average person has about $3,500, which the IRS looked at and saw that this is a severe crisis. So now what they're doing is they're offering massive tax credits for business owners to be able to get up and running a 401k plan. And what those tax credits can essentially look like is up to $5,500 a year that you would get as a tax credit for 3 years. So it's really offsetting the entire administrative cost of a payroll, or I'm sorry, not of a payroll, of a 401k for 10 plus years. And what this is able to do is not only get you set up for a retirement plan, this is a way that you can actively recruit and try to market yourself with more benefits and things like that to potential employees. But also help you save for retirement and also help you lower that taxable liability at the end of the year here. Here's a little bit more on retirement planning. I can send you guys some more information on this as well. But Paychex is actually the largest 401k record keeper in the entire country, just because it's all managed through payroll. And because we're the largest for small to medium-sized business here, we're also the largest record keeper as well. And then one other cool thing that we're able to do is obviously there's fees associated with our payroll services and our 401k and things like that. One cool thing that we have that no other company has is we have a referral network. So just the same way you guys are kind of in small business networking groups and things like that, I work a lot with my current clients to be able to see, hey, you know what, based off of what I've been able to help you with, setting up payroll, advising you, what to put on a salary, how to defer money into a retirement plan, how to get you some of those tax credits. If there's any other businesses that you guys potentially have that, are friends of yours, our family, anyone that you can introduce me to, we can actually get you up to a year's worth of free payroll completely waived. So it's a nice way for us to be able to subsidize, some of your costs, be able to bring on new people to our business, help out people who are potentially in a similar situation such as yours. Other than that, these are kind of some questions here that, a lot of our business owners have been asking us lately, just making sure that, they're staying up to date with, everything that's going on in today's landscape here. So some of the top things that we've been talking about is, do you have employee handbooks and have they reflected the latest compliance changes with COVID-19? When's the last time you've updated your OSHA safety manual? Who do you reach out to for any HR related questions? Does your current payroll provider provide any PPP reporting? And then how will you be allocating any of those funds for the PPP? So these are kind of some things that we've been hearing a lot here, and things that we're very well equipped to be able to help you with. So other than that, that's really it as of right now. Does anyone have any questions?
Yeah. So one question I had was, how do you guys help when it comes to managing and allocating a PPP loan per se?
Yeah, absolutely. So essentially what we're doing is we're bringing new clients on board. We want to know everything that there is to know about that PPP loan. So I work with a lot of different bank partners as well. So I want to know exactly how much the loan was for, exactly the application that you would use to get that loan, making sure that we have an accurate head count of the employees and their salaries that they had when you had applied, making sure that we have the accurate timeline as to the period that you had taken the loan out over. And then because the majority of that loan has to go towards payroll related costs, what we're doing is we're automatically funneling all of those payroll related costs into a spreadsheet, into a calculator, that then you can basically take your non-payroll related costs, such as rent, utilities, things like that, put those in so that we can give you an accurate depiction of exactly how much you can expect to get forgiven. So we won't take over 100% liability because, part of that loan does go towards non-payroll related costs, but we're monitoring everything from a payroll standpoint just to make sure that we're ensuring that every dollar that should go towards payroll is going towards payroll. We have an accurate understanding of, when the forgiveness period is over. And then one nice thing that we do as well is once that period's up and we've processed all of the payroll for that particular loan, we have a calculator that we can then turn into a print-ready application that all you have to do is enter in your non-payroll related costs, like your mortgage, utilities, things like that. Print that off, sign it, and then hand it back to your banker, to your lender, whoever you're working with. And then all they have to do from there is process it through the SBA.
Got it.
And then, so now just to touch on this slide as well, because I know a lot of you guys, haven't had any employees as of yet here. And I know a lot of what I had talked about earlier today was basically taking the business from a sole prop, partnership, LLC, and transitioning it into S Corp. We actually partner with a third-party company called My Corporation, and they really help out all of our business clients who are in very similar situations with all of those things, and then partner directly with us for integration as well. So they can help you actually incorporate the business legally, also make sure you have all of your tax IDs set up for the state unemployment insurance, the state withholding as well, making sure that we have all that stuff on file as well. So we have, pretty much from everything, from the entire standpoint of, getting the business up and running, make sure we're legally incorporating, things like that. We can help you from all aspects. Other than that, that's really all I had here for you guys today. I would love to potentially have, more in-depth conversation with each of you, just because I know each of your guys' situations is very different. So, if you guys want to, I will get my information over to Quandra. I know Quandra has it, but Quandra can send it out to the group here. And then if you guys want to reach out and potentially schedule, another 5-10 minutes that we can talk individually, talk a little bit more in depth, and I can learn a little bit more about the business, I'd be more than happy to do that with you guys. And if it looks like it's a good fit, fantastic. But if not, the worst case scenario is you at least have more information to, potentially in 6 months from now or a year from now or whenever it does be the right time, you kind of have a good direction as to where to go and what you need to do.
And you said your name was Brett Oliver, sir?
Brett Ballweber, Ballweber.
All right, cool. I don't know how I heard Oliver, but that works. Thank you.
That's all right. You know what? Sometimes I talk fast and it probably sounds like Brett Oliver, but it's Brett Ballweber.
Yeah.
But here, you know what? While I have you guys on the phone here, if you guys have pen and paper, I can give you my email address and then my phone number as well. So
if you want to
my
type
direct
it into the chat.
Oh yeah, that would work.
Yeah.
Let's see.
So
I gotta remember how to use this here again now.
Okay. If you hit the chat.
Sorry, I'm so used to WebEx that this is Zoom is a little different here for me. All right.
Are you
here
there?
we go.
Great. So just so you all will know, tomorrow we're going to be talking with Wintrust Bank, who will be discussing succession planning and different ways to protect your business if anything would happen to you, or any type of business continuity things you might, or activities you might want to prepare your business. So that will be tomorrow at 11 a.m. Look forward to, hopefully everyone can join that as well. And Brent, information is in the chat. Please make sure you copy and paste it or take it down. Are there any other questions for Brent or myself? Also on October 7th, we're doing a Neighborhood Opportunity Fund workshop where you can receive up to $250,000 in grant money if you're looking for a brick and mortar. If it needs to be renovated or rehabbed, the city has grant money to assist you with that. Okay. Well, thank you, everyone. Thank you all for participating today, and I look forward to seeing you all in future workshops.
When you say that was, Quandra?
October 7th. That's going to be at 5:30, October 7th. And it should be in the newsletter, SE newsletter. I'm also going to send a text message out on that as well.
Okay, cool. Thanks.
All right. Okay. Thank you.
All right. Thanks so much, guys. Thanks for your
Thank
time.
you,
Don't
Brent.
hesitate to reach out at all. Happy to answer any questions.
Okay.